The New York Giants just got a huge confidence boost. Let's talk about it, but before we get going, do two things for me. First, please like and subscribe. Going to be talking Giants football all year long, so don't miss out. And then thing number two, give me your predictions for this week's game against the Eagles. I always enjoy hearing from you guys, so give me all your thoughts. Who's going to have a big game? What matchups do you like? Comment below. So I actually have not one but two things that should be boosting the Giants' confidence. I'm going to start with big picture, what should give them some confidence, and then I'm going to move on to specifically for this week's game, why they should have some extra confidence. So, first things first, we all watched that Broncos game last week. Made me sick to my stomach. But leading up to the game, there was a lot of smack talk. Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito had a lot of things to say about Dart and the Broncos. Bonito called the Giants the most delusional fan base out there and then deleted his tweet. I was curious to hear what they said after the game. And they had some really positive things to say about Jaxson Dart. And what I really loved was specifically what Nick Bonito said on the Kay Adams show. So he said, I have to give him credit. He's a lot better than we all thought he was when we played against him. He was obviously a really good player coming into the game, and his ability to be able to maneuver the pocket and make plays on the run. But then he goes on to say, and this is my favorite, he said, we even had a plan for it all week, to have eyes on him, to rush the right way, and he was still able to go around and make plays. I was really impressed with him. As the years go on, he's going to be a good player, something you're going to have to watch out for. And he's not the only one saying this. Not sure who saw Vic Fangio talking about it this week, but I mean, he came out and just straight up said, every single person who needed a quarterback in this draft is going to regret passing on Jaxson Dart. And I actually have this stat that kind of just shows how impressive he's been. Because obviously we all know the dude can run and make plays, and his passing's been pretty good. But one of the most impressive things I have seen, let me see if I can make this bigger. Here we go, is this statistic right here. So it is how quarterbacks perform in expected passing situations. And this is when it's the absolute hardest to play the quarterback position. So you're talking, most of these are probably third and long. The defense is sending you a special blitz package, and everybody in the stadium knows you're probably going to throw the ball, and the defense is prepared to defend that. Who can still get it done? And you see near the top, Drake May, who's having an MVP caliber season so far. Lamar Jackson, who's won several MVPs. Patrick Mahomes, who obviously is one of the best quarterbacks ever. Daniel Jones, who I don't even want to talk about him right now. But then in the top 10, above guys like Josh Allen and Super Bowl winner Matt Stafford, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Justin Herbert, lots of great QBs in there. You have Jaxson Dart, who is performing better than all but about 6 or 7 guys. That's 6, 7. Well, yeah, my son will probably laugh at that one. But he's performing better than pretty much everybody in the NFL in obvious passing situations. And it's the same thing I mentioned in a video a couple weeks ago. He has had, I don't know if it's changed based on the last couple games, but through his first 3 starts, he was better on third and fourth down than anyone else in the NFL through his first few starts. So I'm sure if he's not the best still, he's got to be up there. And these are your money downs, and these are your money situations. This is where the great quarterbacks separate themselves from the average quarterbacks. And you're not just hearing it from, suckers to the Giants like me. You're hearing it from their opponents, from opposing coordinators, from people who were talking smack about him coming into the week. They're changing their tune after playing him. Because like I said, going into that Broncos game, this is not just a great defense. This is one of the best defenses of all time. They're on pace to beat the 85 Bears for most sacks in a single season, and to beat them by quite a bit. And Jaxson Dart, with really only one receiver in the game, only one receiver caught a pass. The rest were all running back and tight end catches. But he hung 30-plus points on them. So, I know this season's been there's been some tough losses. Nobody's really thinking playoffs right now. But I think we still have to be super optimistic as Giants fans, knowing that we got the guy. He, through 5 games, is showing that he can perform in tough situations. He is a veteran, right there with guys like Mahomes and Allen. And then I promised you a confidence boost for this week. I'm sure a lot of you have been following the Giants injury report. Paulson Adebo is going to be out, and that hurts big time. And it seems like Javon Holland is likely out as well. I do think Burns will play, and I think Graham Gano is going to play, and Lord knows we should all be thrilled with that. But something that's big, the Giants missing some pieces in their secondary going against one of the best receiving groups in the NFL, that's not what you want. But now the news today is that A.J. Brown is going to be out. So it kind of levels the playing field a little bit more, and you're not going to be asking Deonte Banks to be out there covering Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. I'm sure it's going to be a group effort on Devontae Smith. But you know what? As long as Shane Bowen makes some adjustments and doesn't take Abdul Carter and Dexter Lawrence off the field this week for our 5th-string cornerbacks, I think we'll be fine. They played the Eagles super well the first time. I think they're going to mix up some blitz packages, and Burns and Thibodeau and Lawrence and Abdul Carter are going to make why am I blanking on his name? Jalen Hurts' life miserable. And then, if they can win this game, it's a big if. It's hard to beat the same team twice, especially, these are the defending champs on the road. But if they can pull it out, I think the season gets interesting. The 49ers next week, I don't forget if they're 5-2 now, I think. But, they're injured everywhere. And the Bears, it's tough to know what to expect from them. The Packers have a good record, but they've been struggling with some teams. It is a tough stretch in here. But as I've been saying, if they can just somehow get into that bye week with 4 games left, even at something like 5-8, which I don't think is that unrealistic, considering how well they've been playing some of these playoff teams, I think they have the potential to run the table here. Daniels hasn't been able to stay healthy. Nobody on Washington has. They haven't looked that great. Minnesota has looked like garbage. The Raiders are already tanking. And I don't think there's any way the Cowboys beat us twice, especially not in New York. So if they can somehow find their way to 5-8, that would just be 3 wins and 3 losses here. I think they have the potential, with the way Dart's playing, to run the table and go 9-8 this year. Is that enough to be in the playoffs? Probably not, the way the NFC standings are shaking out right now. But you never know, and maybe they can go better than 5-8 in this first stretch. They're showing they can beat anybody anywhere with Dart and Scadaboo in this defense when they're not getting the worst play calling of all time. So, Giants fans, let me know what you think. Like I said, give me your thoughts on this week's game and on the rest of the season. And then don't forget, just like and subscribe on the way out.